And boom, there we go. Welcome, one and all to the Mirthquake Storyteller Smackdown. It's been a little bit. It's been a hot minute. I had a birthday. I was away for a while. This Mirthquake thing just was like kind of quiet for 2 weeks. But I'm thrilled to be back, and I'm thrilled to have a cool crew with me tonight, and super thrilled that we're going to be doing comedy heroes and comedy villains. Honestly, just most of my favorite characters ever in anything are on this board tonight. And I have my sentimental favorites and the ones I think will win. It's going to be very exciting to just go through all these, have some great discussions and everything. But before we do that, I want to go around the room and introduce ourselves, the thing that everybody dreads from like third grade and all that kind of stuff. But it is important because we have some new people to Mirthquake on here tonight. However, I'm going to start with the resident veteran, Jessica. So if you can, just go ahead and give me your author origin story, and let me know what is one of your comfort comedy movie watches.
Commercial. So I am Jessica Barbary, and I am an author. I have 5 books as of Sunday. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And I started writing because my son was having trouble reading, and I wanted to give him heroes that he could relate to. So, I mean, that is my, I guess, story here as far as like comedy gold. I recently, with my son, just watched Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is probably not necessarily the most appropriate.
Not really.
But you know, they had fun. So, yep. But I don't know. I don't know if it's true comedy, but like I love Princess Bride. I think that's a great movie.
Yeah. It's totally a comfort watch for me too. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the movie you watch when you're sick. Like it's just what you have to do. And look, how old's your son that you were watching Men in Tights with?
So seven. He's gonna be 8. So
all right, so like the jokes are gonna fly over his head if they're
he doesn't really get it.
Yeah, no. See, so my youngest is 16, and he's right at that point where it's like we could watch Step Brothers, but I'm not sure. So like I think we might, there's just all right, the part, with her in the bathroom with Dale and that, like, all right, there's a couple of parts, but I think for the most part, like he'll get the humor. He's seen Idiocracy. It's one of his favorites. So I'm like, well, it's not really that much of a logical leap. So going around the room, let's go to the future. And Mr. J.A. Bryden right there from nearby to Sydney, Australia. And welcome and thank you. And so go ahead, give me your author origin story and give me one of your favorite comedy watches.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I'll give you the back blurb version of my origin story because it's quite a long one. But essentially, I just did not read books growing up. I avoided them at all costs. And then about 10-ish years ago, I ran into someone in my street of all places that had ties to Hollywood, and he got me into screenwriting. One almost got turned into a movie, but it imploded, and all the fiasco of that. Long story, but that story stuck with me, and 2-3 years later, I don't know where it came from, but I was like, all right, I'm going to write a book. I don't know why. I didn't know how to write a book. I just said, I'm going to write a book. And 5 years later, my 3rd one's coming out in a couple of days, and my 4th one's in the works. So
that's so fantastic. Nice.
Now I'm one of you.
No, right. That's awesome.
As for, there's too many. I love comedy. I love comedy way too much. Like I'm more of a TV. Like I love Scrubs because Bill Lawrence has the ability to make you laugh and cry within 30 seconds of each other.
Nice.
But the movie that stands out the most to me is I've never laughed this hard in a movie theater before. Was The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Okay, I've never seen it.
With Steve Carell, Steve Buscemi, and Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's like a street magician. It's so funny.
Oh, excellent.
There's this one scene where this magician duo break up, and then one of them's trying to do the show by himself.
Okay.
A two-man show by him. It's so funny. It's just dropping things and crawling out.
All right. That's one that I'm definitely going to have to add to my watch list for sure. That's good. Yep. And let's move over. Rob, you're up, man. You and I have known each other for a couple of years through the
Yep.
LibertyCon thing. It's so nice to have you on here. And so
Well, I finally have stuff I can actually talk about. So
I know, like, how great is this, right? So give it to me, the origin. I mean, I know like a bit of your background and all that, particularly in terms of screenwriting and everything. So give it to the good people and let me know what is one of your. I know you're a movie guy, man. So I'm curious as to what you're going to come up with one of your comedy favorites.
So my background is I literally went to school for filmmaking. So I screenwriting, directing, editing, all that stuff. And then I bounced in and around the outskirts of all of that for years. Had a wonderful mentor and a gentleman named Jeff Burr, who passed away in 2023. But he really kind of got the fuel going and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I got tired of waiting for Hollywood to kind of open up and allow the kind of stories that I want to tell. So I said, well, I'm sitting on this thing that'll never get made. I'll write a book.
Yeah.
But the first thing I did was I got some short stories that came out, and now I'm moving forward into self-publishing for right now with my first novel. So
bravo, man. Love it. You're going to be at LibertyCon this year, right?
Yes.
All right, sweet.
And I'm going to have promotional material because I'm planning on releasing sometime around in November.
Nice. So, all right, epic. No, that's good, man. I can't wait. Right. And what about the comedy flick for you?
Well, Logan is asking about the cat. She's right here, and she keeps trying to. I have a glass of water, and she's like, "There's water. I want to get to the water." That's why I keep seeing me reach over like that. So my comedy flick is actually a film, a meta commentary, and that's Last Action Hero.
Oh, nice. All right.
Which as of a few years ago is starting to get looked at in a different light because it was looked at as a bomb when it first dropped.
100%. Right.
And now people are looking at it and going, this was like the start of the meta commentary craze. Is right around that era because Scream comes out, I want to say 2 years after it, 3 years after that.
Right.
But Last Action Hero was one of those. It bombed because the studio couldn't get out of its way.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to release it right up against Jurassic Park, and that was a bad mistake.
Right. I remember there being discourse around its length was off-putting to people. Like it was a long movie.
And it was originally very dark.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, I got to give it a rewatch, man. I haven't seen it probably in how old is the movie? Like that's how long it's been.
93.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you go. I graduated high school.
Jurassic Park, Perfect World, Mrs. Doubtfire, Last Action Hero. This 93 was a packed year.
Oh, man,
The Sandlot was 93.
I really wish these days were back. Honestly, I really do. All right. So
we have an audience requesting the kitty. So
yes, exactly.
Ryoko, editor kitty.
Tuxedo kitty. I like.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, that's Jacqueline. She's my fiance. She is currently visiting family. So I'm here with the 3 cats, and it's getting close to feeding time, and they're all staring at me. So there's that. So Ian, let's move on to you, sir. Give me that author origin story and favorite comedy flick.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm Ian Sullivan, primarily a short storyist, and I've been writing ever since I, can remember, probably around since I was 9 years old. But art was the highest moral virtue in my house. My father was an artist. My brother's an artist. My grandfather's an artist. So it was always encouraged and almost like a religious thing, But I just recently started to take it more seriously than I took myself. So, and I'm finally finding a little bit of success. So I'm going to keep going with that. I'm working on a couple of different short story collections that I'm self-publishing, and I've got a lot of short stories out in different magazines and anthologies coming out this summer. And so I'm having a banner year so far. So we'll keep that going. make sure you can hear them. As far as comedies go, I try to infuse comedy in just about everything I do, whether it's super dark, and I try to mean all my jokes. Like people that make a joke and it's just a joke. Well, I don't. I mean when I say something, that's a joke. But anytime I think comedy, the first movie that comes to mind for me is the Blues Brothers. It was 100% formative movie for me. Like I said, I was 9 years old when it came out. 1980 was a freaking super stacked year for movies too.
Right.
You had Empire Strikes Back and the Blues Brothers, and right around that time, it was all really packed movies. Yep. So, but yeah, no CGI. They actually dropped a Ford Pinto from about 5,000 feet in the air. They had to get FAA approval to do it. And, so yeah.
Excellent.
And I hate Illinois Nazis too.
So. All right. It's like, it's funny just thinking about some of those throwback movies, because I was born in 75, and some of the first movies I remember seeing were like, American Werewolf in London. I still have scars from that one. But apart from horror, Revenge of the Nerds was an early watch for me. Police Academy, and I'm like, I was not of the I'd be mortified to show my kids either one of those movies right now. So it is really funny. Even rewatching Goonies, I'm like all they do is curse this entire movie. Like, it's just kind of surprising. It speaks to how things change, but. We're going to get into some of these characters, and I've got some that are 80s throwbacks. I've got some more modern characters in here. We're going to have a blast with this one, I'm sure, just considering where all of you are on the comedy thing. So I'm going to bring up the big board, and we're just going to kind of break down sort of how this is going to work. Does everybody see it okay? You can see it okay. So at times I'm going to bounce the chat out of here just so we can get a better view. But essentially, we've got a bracket. We've got 8 on one side, 8 on the other. There's no real seating, but I tried, just from my own judgments, to keep some of the superpowers on either side, so we don't have one bracket, like one side dominating the entire thing. And in our first round, matchups are hero versus villain. There is no hero versus hero or villain versus villain. But honestly, it's all kind of subjective, because to me, Les Grossman is a villain, but he's kind of my hero. So it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? There were some that were really I'm like, well, I love the character, but there we go. And like I said in the green room, I have some sentimental favorites in here. I'm really curious to see what you guys do with this. And the next thing we need to do is just kind of come up with some judging criteria, right? So for that, this one, I am just going to bounce a chat for a second. Get us a better view. So for that, I have another sheet here, and we can go to this sheet if need be. This is the drill down, right? Where each of you can drill down on a specific character and rate on a scale of 1 to 5 their dialogue. So for instance, quality, memorability of a character's lines, the character's arc, depth and development, their narrative impact. It's funny just seeing Jim Carrey there with that stupid freaking haircut. And their complexity. Again, Ace Ventura, probably not the most complex character. And of course, icon status. Somebody like Jim Carrey, that's a bonus score, would easily get a 5 for Ace Ventura in my estimation. Some of them might be a little bit lower. It kind of depends. But let's keep these in mind, just in terms of the characters, impact in the story and stuff like that. And then after that, if we just consider them fighting it out, think it out. Like, how do you think a fight would go down between two of these characters? And we'll just we'll run with it that way. I think we'll have a good time. We may see some tough choices within here. And what I like to do is introduce these as sort of a boxing ring style introductions for our characters. So I'll just lean into that a hair as we go around. Any questions? Are we good to jump right in?
Yeah.
Let's do it, right? All right, perfect. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go boom, like so. All right, good. Okay, so our first one, open this up. Some of the first matchups, pretty easy the way we're going to set these up. You're going to get the first one right away. Chainsaw and a boomstick. He is the Deadite Destroyer. the time traveling titan of S-Mart. He understands alloys and compositions and things with molecular structures. It is obviously Ash Williams right here. I would definitely consider him a #1 top seed. But that's just my estimation. I love that character. Next up, swaggering through decades with a sneer and a fist, he's terrorized teens, flipped futures, and tasted manure. Fear the bully who can bend time. It is obviously our first villain, Biff Tannen. Right? So let's break this one down, folks. Ian, I'll have you go first and tell me, how do you think this one would shake out?
So I think we're looking at I got to go with Ash Williams on this, just because when you're talking like dialogue can't be. It's no better dialogue than this. You give me some sugar, baby.
Right.
So he's undaunted. He's heroic. He's half asshole.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas Biff is all asshole.
Right.
I think he's maybe a little. They both take themselves very seriously, but I think that Ash Williams takes this one. And I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. It kind of depends on the time travel thing too. But like Ash also travels in time, sort of. It's sort of like, I don't even know what he does. But let's continue on. J.A., what do you think on this one?
Look, it's hard because Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time.
All right. Yep.
So I think Biff's super iconic, but it also comes down to if there's manure involved. But I think Ash has got it. I think he's got it.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's just,
I think
as much as I love Biff, it's just
right. Yeah, for first round, you're going to find matchups like this where you've got like something just a little bit more dominating of a victory in some cases. Robert, you going to push against that one or no?
So I am going to say that it's a lot closer than most of us are giving it credit for.
Okay.
Biff was willing to shoot a teenager.
This is true.
So the biggest thing is Ash has fought and survived Deadites. He survived being possessed by one, to be exact. Right. Unless you just go by the first movie and then he died. But that's beside the point.
For sure. Yeah.
But no, I think Biff pulls out some surprises, but it's Ash.
It's Ash all the way. All right.
Yeah.
Jessica, agree with this one?
I'm going to agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Butthead is just it's not enough.
For sure. All right, we've got a pretty easy first round for what I would certainly consider our #1 seed. Let's jump into the next one, right? As we make our way down the bracket here. Next up, see, one of my favorites. He has armed the stars, spared a priest, and can count to 4, not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4. Bow to the galaxy's greasiest gun runner. Do you know what this one is? Just on that? It is, of course, Emmanuel Zorg from The Fifth Element. I absolutely love the character. It is a movie near and dear to my heart for sure. Next up, this is a good one too. Equipped with sarcasm and a proton pack, he has zapped ghosts, wooed the dames, cracked wise, the slime slinger himself. We're going to throw Peter Venkman against Emmanuel Zorg. So let's go in the opposite direction here. Jessica, I'm going to have you start us off. What do you think on this absolutely absurd matchup?
Well, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yep.
Oh, man. Peter Venkman versus Zorg. I mean, I love the Fifth Element. Like that's probably one of my favorites.
Yep.
But is he quite Ghostbusters iconic? Like that's a tough one.
Yeah. As great as that movie is, and so stylized, and all that Luc Besson did for that film.
I mean, Peter Venkman is just
Gary Oldman too. Yeah. Ghostbusters is so
wit and his charm, and it's just, I mean, no, he wins. I gotta go with Venkman.
You think he takes it out with the proton pack and the whole thing? All right. Yep.
I think
Fair
it does,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't press the red button just out of curiosity, I'm sure. So, Rob, what do you think?
So this is an interesting matchup because they're both technically cowards.
Fascinating. All right. No, I like it.
Yeah, because I mean they both hide behind their employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes down to it, I just got to give it to icon status. I got to give it to Murray and Venkman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
talk about
it's the only film where I went and saw the anniversary of it.
Yep.
And when the line of "Yes, Your Honor, this man has no dick" come up, the whole audience still burst out laughing.
It's great.
All these years later.
Right. Cats and dogs living together. I know. Like everything about it. So do you think that role as Peter Venkman is like his identifying role? Or do you think maybe like would you give it to Caddyshack?
I'd give it to Caddyshack.
You give it to Caddyshack? Yeah. I can see that. I mean, I love Lost in Translation, like anything Bill Murray or freaking Zombieland. It's like brilliant in and of itself. But
so without Caddyshack, you don't have Ghostbusters because you don't have Murray and Ramis.
Right.
Teaming
up.
So
right. Fascinating. Yeah. And he's a heck of a bowler from what I understand too. Another favorite terrible comedy. All right, so we got 2 for Venkman. JA, I'm going to go to you. And what are your thoughts on here? Agree, disagree?
That's 3 for Venkman.
Yep,
100%. He's just so iconic. I love Fifth Element. I mean, you can make the argument that there's only one Fifth Element, and how many Ghostbusters do we have? You know,
for sure. Yeah,
but yeah, all the way. Ghostbusters, 100%.
Yep. There you go. Ian, anything to add?
No, not really, except is the piano. That's right.
They hate that.
It's Dr. Venkman. That's like my favorite line. It's like a nothing line, but that's like my favorite line. Venkman here. But if you ask me tomorrow, I might say Zorg.
Right. I hear you. Zorg definitely like super powerful and that whole thing. Like I said, I freaking love his character in that movie. Fifth Element, always near and dear to me. But I think this is the right choice. I think you guys are you spot on so far. You've got 2 dominating wins. Can't wait for round 2 because that's going to be a blast.
It's the battle of the quips.
Yeah, I really.
The good guys are winning right now. Maybe I don't know.
We've got a couple heroes. Let's see how it goes. I have a feeling this might be the matchup that destroys that, but we'll see. So next up, another one of my absolute favorites, flying in with a cool head and a shaky past. He's landed planes, dodged gags, won the girl. Is it his first time or his first time being nervous? No, he's been nervous lots of times. It's Ted Stryker from one of my absolute favorite quips in any movie ever is that one right there. It's just so stupid and I absolutely love it. Next up, another one of my favorites, marching in with a giant lid and a tiny temper. He's choked foes, mocked space, and lost his Schwartz. Did you see him playing with his dolls again? We are going to go with Dark Helmet for this one. And I love the picture too. Just everything about these are 2 of my absolute like all-time, just possibly 1 and 2 favorite comedies ever. So folks, I'm curious. We'll go JA. Let me start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on Ted Stryker versus Dark Helmet?
I may be biased because I had never seen Spaceballs.
Oh.
And I just watched it this morning.
Oh wow!
And I love him, like in everything from even Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He's just gold.
Yep.
And so probably because he's freshest in my mind and was so fantastic in that role. Darth Helmet. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. I got you. Rob, what about you?
So, as interesting of a matchup as this is, Stryker doesn't stand a chance.
Right.
Stryker didn't even want to pilot the plane.
I mean, valid point. Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
it's got to go to Dark Helmet, and the fun quip is the behind the scenes of the doll scene,
Yes.
where he told them, "Don't tell me when you're coming in."
Right. So just scatters everything. And, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That is, and honestly, like, and I've cited this to people before, that single word in that movie, the word again in that scene, just makes the entire thing for me, because without
Yes.
again, like, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Like,
Again.
and it's
Yep.
so quick. Everything about it, absolutely brilliant.
If you get a chance, if you can find something with the commentary, listen to the Mel Brooks commentary on Spaceballs.
Oh, nice.
He loses it in that scene.
Nice. That's fantastic. All right, so we got 2 for Dark Helmet. And Jessica, what about you? What do you think on this one?
Oh, Dark Helmet. Like,
Yep.
Spaceballs is a classic.
Yep.
I love Airplane. I have lots of memories of my brother specifically like replaying parts of Airplane over and over and over again, and that might be the trauma right there. I gotta give it to Dark Helmet there.
Yep. I hear you. Ian, anything to add on this one?
No, yeah, Dark Helmet takes this one all the way. I mean, Ted Stryker was only hero once. He wasn't even a hero over Macho Grande. So,
You know,
yeah.
I feel like after this matchup,
mean,
he's going to be in the hospital thinking he's Ethel Merman. So,
I mean, he's losing, being announced now. He can't hang with Dark Helmet.
Manny Mota.
Manny Mota. I've got to concentrate.
I love it. That's such a great movie. They're all fantastic, but yeah, I agree. Spaceballs is in a different class altogether. We have our first villain winner. Setting up for, this is going to be a really fun bracket the next round. So next up, let's go with these 2. This is funny. All right, so strutting in short with a crown and a grudge, he's banished ogres, chased a princess, mocked the tall, the pint-sized prince of pettiness. We are going with Lord Farquaad, and I'm putting up a picture of actual Lord Farquaad and not Rachel Zegler. So next one, we're gonna go. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right. Oh man, I can't wait. Smashing drives with a snarl and a stick. He's iced his foes, raged at clowns, swung for grandma. Just tap it in. We're going with Happy Gilmore. So as absurd, this is really probably the most absurd matchup. Ian, let me start with you on this one. And what are your thoughts on Happy versus Farquaad?
I'm going to go with Farquaad. He's got the entire nation behind him. It's easy for him to just throw lackey after whatever foe's coming at him.
Yep.
I mean, you can't even see him if someone's standing in front of him. So I just don't think Happy Gilmore is heroic enough to take down a serious villain like Farquaad.
I respect it. I respect it for sure. J.A., what about you?
I just have this mental image of Happy Gilmore with a hockey stick, just fending off all these fantasy creatures. I think he's got a good chance at it. Just because I want to see it happen, I'm going to go Happy.
All right, yeah. No, I would actually I would watch that movie in a heartbeat, for sure. So Jessica, what about you on this one?
All right, we got you eat pieces of shit for breakfast, and then you got some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Right.
I think I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore. He's just more tenacious. I don't know. I think he could.
You think it's the thirst for violence and anger that he has that really kind of does it. Yeah.
I mean, Farquaad's just so small. He just
right.
run out of the park.
Right. All right. We've got a 2-1 right now. Robert, what are you thinking?
Well, one of them tortured a gingerbread man and the other one lost to Bob Barker.
This is true. Price is wrong, bitch.
That's right. It's a toss-up because it depends on who gets to who first.
Right. Like, are they fighting in the Enchanted Forest, or are they on a golf course, just the two of them?
Yeah.
You know, and so like I leave that up to you guys to figure out. Like,
just on the fact that Happy is a hockey player and a golfer, and his swing is always up. He's coming up under Farquaad's chin.
right. Right. Yeah, you think kind of Happy on this one?
Yep, I'm happy. I'm going with Happy.
You're going with Happy on this one. All right, so we got 2-2. We have our first tie. So I'll just say, first of all, anybody changing their mind on any of the arguments that were made? No? Sticking with it? Sticking with it. All right. So I have to invoke tiebreaker privilege on this one. I don't want to take this one to the big board or anything like that, but I will say, I think who do you think? Let me just go down the line, like real quick. Who do you think is a more iconic of these two characters? Right. Like, Ian, what do you think?
Oh, definitely Farquaad.
Yeah.
I mean, more iconic, better actor. The whole Shrek franchise is gigantic.
True, but wasn't he just in one of the movies? Was he just in the first one?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Only one movie though.
You know what? Greedo was only in one movie too.
All right, Greedo versus Farquaad in another round. Okay, all right, J.A., who do you think is more iconic of these two?
It is tough, but I honestly, I quote more Adam Sandler than I do John Lithgow.
Yeah, right.
So
I hear you.
I'm sticking with Happy.
Yep. Right. All right, Robert.
Yeah, Happy's the one that if you're just going off of cultural impact, as big as the Shrek films are, Farquaad's not the reason.
All right. Yeah. So I think Happy's moving on this one, right?
Yeah.
We've got a Happy moving forward. So boom, we'll do that. And there we go. All right, setting up for an epic second round right over there. It's Happy versus Dark Helmet. That's brilliant. All right, so let's bounce up to the other bracket right here. And oh man, I've been waiting for this one for like weeks, ever since I put this episode together. Strutting in with a nuke and a tune, he's bombed his foes, and he's been so Ronry. And he's even fed Hans Bricks to sharks. That's right. We're going with Team America version of Kim Jong-il. It's Hans Bricks. You busted my balls, Hans. All right. Next up, this is definitely an obscure one. Rolling in with a laugh and a badge, he's cracked cases, dodged bullets, and out-talked Los Angeles. Cheer the Motor City Mischief Maker. We are going with... Here we go. Kim Jong versus Axel Foley. What the frick is going on here? Okay. So yeah. All right. What do you think on this one? Robert, start with you. What are your thoughts? Hans Bricks.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Axel.
Yeah.
So Axel gets stuff done.
He does. Yep.
I mean, he's a buffoon, but he's brilliant at what he does.
Right.
And
right.
Kim Jong, that whole film, is just a blubbering idiot, constantly making threats and not doing anything about it, and just slinging one-liners.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, it was So Ronry was a hell of a song, though.
It was
a real ballad. Yeah, no,
it was. But I as a child that grew up in the 80s, do is always in my head.
Right? Yeah. What was it? Crappy blue. What was he driving? It was a crappy blue. Shoot, I forget his car. Yeah.
I don't.
It was a shitty blue Nova.
It was a Nova.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we can't it's really funny because I feel like Axel's lines are right on par with Bronson Pinchot's line in that, like his whole thing as the because they ad-libbed that entire sequence where they were talking back and forth, and he was Surge and the whole thing. I absolutely love those movies. Again, been a hot minute. I haven't seen. There was a new one, right? Like they did.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Was it any good?
It's okay. It's
okay.
a good nostalgia film.
All right, yeah, I'll take it. That's fine. So Ian, what do you think on this one? Axel or Kim Jong?
Yeah, give me Axel Foley. Just his ability to change his voice, his ability to change his demeanor. You know, he's a multifaceted person. You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know,
It's
I mean,
great.
it's you know, it's you know, I think you need to tell Victor Maitland he may have simplex 10 and things start falling off on the man.
That's right.
So yeah, he's just able to, you know, able to shift himself, to morph himself to whatever situation. Yeah, he's kind of a modern
That's
day
right.
stainless
And
steel
it's sort
rat.
of do you think he played kind of the same character in Golden Child? Sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like, you know, I want the knife, like the whole thing with like, you know, that whole yeah, it's pretty funny. So well, that's crazy because we've got a couple of connections for him on this board too, with Shrek as well. Donkey would have been a great character in this. I should have done that, but that's fine. Jessica, what do you think? We've got 2 for Axel Foley right now.
I mean, you got Puppet Dictator versus Detroit Cop. I'm from Michigan. I got to pick the Detroit Cop.
You're gonna pick the Detroit Cop. Yeah, for sure.
Don't mess
Jay,
with them.
anything to add on this one?
I want to say Kim Jong just because he's so funny, but no,
Right.
valid points from everyone. I see one of those scenarios where he runs in and then Axel's just bang, he's gone. You know?
Yep.
So-
Yep. He gets the things done. All right, I'm here for it, man. That's good. It didn't go the way I thought it would go. I mean, like I figured, but I thought it would be a tie on this one somehow. But that's just my love of marionette Kim Jong, I guess. So I freaking love that movie. All right, so let's move on. This is a good one. All right, shagging in with a chop and a yeah baby. He's foiled fiends, danced through decades, rocked the fringe, bow to the swinging secret agent. I did just watch this movie with my 16-year-old, and it was great. So we're going with Austin Powers. He's the man.
baby.
Yeah, baby. There it is. Yep. And then next is one of the heavyweights. Stomping in with a rant and a boogie. He's chewed execs, chug soda. He has abnormally large hands. We're going to go with the iconic Les Grossman, who truly deserves his own franchise, in my estimation. So Rob, I'm going to start with you on this one. Austin Powers versus Les Grossman. Who you got?
Oof.
Kind of close, right?
Yeah. I mean, Grossman is. I mean, he's an exec. He knows what he's doing. He
Manipulator. Yeah.
he manipulates. But Austin has that luck factor.
He does. He's got mojo, is what that's the word you were looking for, was his mojo.
No. He has mojo, but he also has like dumb luck.
Well, for sure. Right. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That PS was not his, by the way, even though he had the warranty card and the book. That was totally his bag, baby.
Ooh.
You need to think on it?
Yeah, I need to think on this one.
All right. Take a moment.
I want to hear everyone else's stuff because this is
it's
hard.
fine. You can do that. That's all right. Jessica, what do you think on this one?
I mean, Tropic Thunder is a good movie, but I grew up with Austin Powers as like the prime of my adolescence.
Yep.
So like I have to go with Austin.
I absolutely love
Yeah,
the
baby.
movies. Like I totally
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know that either of these movies would really get made or greenlit today. If you tried.
No.
It's certainly not Tropic Thunder. You know, with Simple Jack and all of that. You got a fine brain, Jack. So Ian, what are you thinking on this one? We got one for Austin.
I'm going to take a little different tack on this.
Okay.
Roles that have been played so well that they themselves that it can't be played again. They can't be played by anybody else. Doc Holliday,
100%.
Walter Sobchak in The Big Lebowski. And Les Grossman is one of those roles. I'm picking Les Grossman.
All right. Yep.
I love
Just
Austin
on
Powers,
how much of a,
but this is
Yeah.
somebody else could play Austin Powers.
yeah, I guess if you're going for like for I guess screen time, considering like screen time weight between these two, and how much of an impact, like I can see that for sure. All right, so we've got one on Austin, we've got one on Les Grossman. JA, what do you got on this one?
Well, I'm just gonna say I can see it being a dance-off. It's just going to be a dance-off. But
That's great.
Austin Powers, I reckon. I reckon he's
All right. 2 on Austin, 1 on Grossman. Robert, got to bring it back to you. What
Okay.
are your thoughts, man? It's dangling
So
right there.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ultimately say Austin,
Okay.
but I will say for the short amount of time that Les Grossman is on camera, he steals that movie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
Absolutely.
Austin is just, yeah, he's more fun. So
Right. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I just, yeah, for iconic, and like I have such a spot for Tom Cruise anyway, just in the
yeah,
fact that I really feel like he is like the
well,
last true movie star,
and
honestly.
he is, and it's sad to see that they're retiring the. He's not retiring, but he's retiring the Mission Impossible stuff. He's getting to
Yeah,
the point
for
where he
sure.
can't do this stuff anymore. But I kind of am in the same boat as Jessica, where I was of the right age when Austin Powers landed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So
absolutely. No, and honestly, like when I rewatched it was just a few nights ago. I rewatched it with my youngest, and like I just forgot how much I just enjoyed the movie.
oh yeah,
Because it's so dumb, but like it's just harmless and stupid, and Mr. Bigglesworth and just like all of this stuff. And I can't wait to watch the other ones, especially the scene where he and Mini-Me are rapping in the prison. Which is one of my favorite ever. So totally get it. Austin moves on. There you go. And Basil moving on with him, but maybe not Basil's mother. So next up, strutting in with a stash and a scoop, he's read the news, riled the desk, stayed classy. Hail the Anchorman, who doesn't like question marks. And it is, of course, I'm Ron Burgundy. There you go. It was a great picture, too. And next up, again, a great one here. Entering the arena with a group of purple cobras. He's better than you, and he knows it. Hide your pizza and never make him bleed his own blood. It is, of course, White Goodman. One of the great comedy villains. Absolutely. With epic lines. I mean, these are two, like, the lines are just fantastic. So JA, I'm going to start with you on this one. And who are you picking between White and Ron Burgundy?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I do love that line. I know you, and you know you, and you know
Right.
that I know that I know you.
You know that I know that you.
I have a
Touche.
soft spot. I have a soft spot for dodgeball.
Yep.
It's so iconic.
Absolutely.
You can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench.
I guess, of course. Yeah, like Winston here. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel it has to go to Anchorman, just because of you'd never see enough of that. Like it's just everywhere.
Yaz
all the
flute.
memes,
You never see enough
that-
Yaz flute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that escalated quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
All the lines.
It hurts me, but I'm gonna go. Anchorman.
It stings the nostrils, but you're going Anchorman. I understand. Jessica, what about you on this one? Ron Burgundy or White Goodman?
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. White Goodman.
On this one? Yeah. You think you just hit him with a dodgeball and just like send him spiraling, like that kind of thing? I could see it. Milk was a bad choice, though, for sure. All right. We've got 1-on-1. We got one vote on each. Robert, what about you?
So I love Ron Burgundy to death, but he's
Yep.
nothing without his ensemble.
Yeah. We've seen that.
And
in the
I've
movie.
got to go with White Goodman. He just is constantly throwing zingers.
Right. Yeah, from start to finish in that movie.
Yeah, just nonstop. And I also love the fan theory that White Goodman is the same guy from Heavyweights.
yeah, right. Fantastic. It's so funny.
He had to change his name because they got sued. Lost.
That's my kind of conspiracy theory. I love it.
It's
all right. We got 2 for White. We've got 1 for Ron Burgundy. Ian, what do you got here?
Well, I mean, these guys are they're almost essentially the same damn person. So, but anybody that is solid and confident about the word San Diego meaning a whale's vagina, I'm going with Ron Burgundy.
I can't argue with the logic. You know, I left this up to you guys in terms of how you judge these two. We'll go down the line. Who would you pick if you had to pick which one of these guys is more iconic? Right. So Ian, like, who do you think is more iconic out of these two?
Definitely Ron Burgundy.
J.A.?
I think Ron Burgundy is more iconic.
I think Ron Burgundy is more iconic, but I think Goodman's got a lot of good lines. I think he's got the better lines. Right.
Robert, what do you think? More iconic?
I'm still going to stick with White.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I love Anchorman, and I think it's great. But more people quote Talladega Nights than they quote Anchorman.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, if you're not first, you're last, man. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's that. Well, I like the 60% of the time it works every time, but that's not really his line.
No, it's not. And that's where I'm weighing in on that is, you know, he's nothing without. If you don't have Brick, you're missing half the comedy.
Where'd you get that grenade, Brick? I don't know.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
Yes, of course. No, that's fair enough. Jessica, more iconic for you?
I feel like Ron Burgundy is probably more iconic in the circle of people that I know.
Yeah.
But I hate that. I kind of hate that.
The non-conformity is showing right there. It's yeah, I mean, I get it. All right, so we're stuck at 2-2, right? Is that, I have this right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-2. Oh man. Go back to your home on Whore Island. See, this is why you need other people around to just say these kinds of things. Baxter, a whole wheel of cheese. I mean, like, these are great all the way around. The thing with the handcuffs and reading the dictionary upside down for White and all that kind of stuff. So if I've got to throw one of these in as a tiebreaker, I would give it to White Goodman on this one. I'm just saying, I think if there was a fight, he would end up just crushing him with a dodgeball or some such thing. And if we look at the cruise, he's got Michelle, you know, he's got the Russian, like, what's her name? It was terrifying.
But he didn't need him. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, there's that too. So I'll have to say I'll give it to Ben Stiller on this one, and I'll go White Goodman. Upset maybe, I don't know. That one's just really, really close to call.
Well, he's grabbing the bull by the horns, but he really did
that. Ipso facto. All right. So next up, slipping in. Okay, so remember I was telling you about some sentimental favorites. Slipping in with a grin in a game, he's dodged knives, faked falls, sparked a whodunit, unveiling the body with a twist. We are going with, of course, Mr. Body from Clue, which honestly I feel like people sleep on as a comedy movie that's just like iconic.
Oh, it's great.
Because it's just not talked about, and one of the greatest ensemble casts probably ever put together in a comedy movie as well. But obviously that's because of Madeline Kahn.
It's a movie that found its life on cable.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, we ran the VHS into the ground, man. That's how we did it. So, he's sniffed out critters, cracked cases, danced with dolphins. If he uses the bathroom, do not go in there. We are, of course, talking about Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura versus Mr. Body. Yeah, I think this one might be a close one too. I'm not sure. Jessica, let me start with you on this one. Any thoughts on these two? One of them a master manipulator, and is fine with murder. And the other one is Ace Ventura.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, it's tough, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Ace Ventura because of my just when I grew up and when that
Yeah,
came out.
I hear you.
It's just more of like part of me than Clue.
Right. Right.
Watched it a
We
lot
get
more.
fair enough, man.
Peak Jim Carrey. Peak Jim Carrey.
I think he would have a good chance at figuring out the whodunit before anybody else did. I'm just saying, but like, I don't know how he would end up getting there, through what calamitous circumstance. So Ian, let me bounce to you next on this one. Who do you got? You got Ace Ventura or Mr. Body?
Yeah, I like Ace Ventura on this. Just sheer lines alone.
Yeah.
He called Courtney Cox. I mean, that's pretty. That's not true, but he
really did. Yeah.
So so I like Ace Ventura on this. And just the image of him grooming with the chimpanzees alone is enough for him to win.
right.
The whole bracket. So.
No, I like when he gets hit in each leg with the arrows and then just screams at both of them. One of the great scenes, of course. All right, so we've got two on Ace. JA, you agreeing with this one?
Yep, 3. All
right.
I love the Clue movies and all that stuff, but Ace, I just grew up with Jim Carrey, so
yeah, for sure.
100%.
Totally understand that. Absolutely. Robert, anything to add?
I mean, I'm gonna go with Ace Ventura as well, but this is a fight where it's not a fight; it's the two of them standing in the room monologuing to each other.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. 100%. No,
Mr. Body throws his hands up in disgust as Ace just starts making no sense, and he's like, "I'm done. I'm
out." He would just try to shoot him. Yeah, no, that's good. Look, totally agree. I think it's fantastic. It's the lines from Ace Ventura. So I'll tell you this: I saw the first movie. I saw Ace Ventura in the theater, and it was probably one of the easily top 2, like just one of those movies where all of us that were watching it, because I was there with a few friends, we absolutely lost it like within 5 minutes of the movie beginning, when he was just kicking the package around and all of that like insanity, and it just never stopped. And then came the line where he's like, "Hi, I'm looking for Ray Finkel and a clean pair of shorts," and like just literally everybody in the theater lost it. The only other movie that came close was when I went to see South Park's Bigger, Longer, and Uncut in the theater, and parents were there with their kids, and that was fantastic because as soon as Terrence and Philip started, everybody walked out, and the movie predicted it, and it was brilliant. So yeah, totally get it. Let's move. Then we've got a 4-on-1 and a 4 on the other. We've got Ash Venkman, Dark Helmet, and Happy Gilmore. And then on this side, quite the crew: Axel versus Austin, and White versus Ace Ventura. All of this would be hilarious, and I would watch any of these movies. But let's go ahead and jump up and go with Ash versus Venkman. This is where it gets a little trickier. So I don't know. We'll go. Let me start with you, Ian, on this one. Ash Williams, Peter Venkman. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with my gut. Now I'm thinking about it, and then I'm going, no this, no that, but I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to go Peter Venkman.
Okay. What's your reasoning?
I think that he'd be willing to cross the streams.
Okay. Right. Nice.
I think he'd be willing to do what needed to be done. Same way as he did in Ghostbusters 2. I've worked with better, but not many.
Are we assuming that Venkman has his ghostbusting buddies with him, or is he solo? I
guess he can, but he just if he was driving the Ecto 1, maybe he just runs him over. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I like Peter Venkman on this. I'm taking science over Matt.
Fascinating. All right, sounds good. Klaatu Verata necktie. And JA, what do you think on this one? Ash versus Venkman. Who do you got?
It is super tough. I'm just
Yep.
gonna say that. It's just like I'm trying to take my mind out of the fact that, like, you know, one's got a shotgun and a chainsaw.
Right, and a chainsaw. Yeah.
But it's like I feel it's because Venkman's got the range, so I might give it to Venkman.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right. We got 2 on Venkman. Robert, what are you thinking?
I think this fight doesn't happen, and they both just make out with the girl and walk off.
They become buddies. We know they would be buddies.
Oh, they would. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally the battle of the charmers.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Ash clumsily gets his way through all of it.
Right.
He's clever, but he's not smart. Venkman
Right.
actually is a doctor, and he has an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
True.
So even if Ash wins, they both die.
There's that too. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. All
No,
right. So
I'm going Venkman.
you're going
I
Venkman.
I love Ash to death, but I
All right.
it's,
All right.
it's just one of those, like, they're good in different reasons, but Venkman's always been a favorite. So
Gotcha. Yep. Yep. All right, Jessica, what do you think?
I mean, the question is what happens when there's only one woman?
Right. Right.
But I feel like it's pointless, but I'm going to go with Ash just to be different because chainsaw wielding chaos is going to trump, you know, he's just not, Venkman isn't particularly brave. So he might be smart, but I don't know. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with chainsaw and a shotgun.
We have a bit of the coward line established for sure, hiding behind friends and all that. I would say, like, I don't think I'm going to sway any of you 3 that are going for Venkman on this one, but if you think about Army of Darkness, Ash does set up the entire defenses and everything. He's got everybody trained. He's organized the entire thing. So credit where credit is due, while he's kind of a clumsy idiot, you know, with the hot chocolate and the whole thing. Or stepping on the nail, which is probably the funniest scene in the movie, to be honest. But yeah, and he does understand alloys and compositions and things with molecular structures. But we're moving Venkman on. I don't think I would sway anybody with these arguments. And honestly, it's pretty toss up for me anyway.
Yeah, that's where I was sitting. It's like,
yeah, I totally get it. Totally get it. All right, Venkman, our first semifinalist here, and now we've got Happy Gilmore versus Dark Helmet. Battle for the ages, truly. Can a golf ball penetrate that helmet? I'm not sure. Or can Happy Gilmore be jammed? So let's go, JA, with you. What do you think on this one? You've just recently watched Spaceballs, so I'm real curious.
Will Happy have the jump on him because he's playing with his dolls? That's the question.
That's right.
You know? I really want to go Happy just because I think it'd be the funniest thing. Because I'm going to assume Adam Sandler's a lot taller than Rick Moranis, so you just get the crack in the skull. I just want to see it.
He just beat him to death with a club.
But that's such a big helmet.
You're too good for your spaceship. Yeah, I'm gonna go Happy.
Yeah, you know Happy Gilmore doesn't give good helmets. So.
All right, so Ian, let's throw it to you. We've got 1 for Happy. What do you think?
This is, for me, this is the biggest runaway. I take Dark Helmet in a landslide. Gotcha. I think he's just too much, you know, with the spaceship and the Schwartz. Nobody's Schwartz is as big as his. Let's face it. So, I mean, I think this one is a runaway for me. I'm taking Dark Helmet.
All right. So we got 1-1. Robert, let me throw it to you. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Dark Helmet.
Yep.
So Happy is angry, but as I pointed out in the first round, he lost to Bob Barker.
Right.
And Dark Helmet, he has a laser in his ring.
He does. Yep, for sure.
And is not afraid, and can go toe to toe with the hero, and is not afraid to kill crew members.
this is true too. Yeah, even if he's surrounded by assholes.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So we've got 2 for Dark Helmet. We've got 1 for Happy. Jessica.
I kind of feel like making it a tie because it sounds like fun to me, but like I Dark Helmet. So
yeah.
it's just so much helmet to protect against that hockey stick.
Look, it protected him when they went to Plaid and he flew into the whole thing. And they're at now. And when will then be now? Soon. So I totally agree. And listen, you're all talking to the guy who wrote Space Pew Pew. There's no way I would pick Happy over Dark Helmet. It's impossible. And so I would definitely break the tie that way anyway. So let's go ahead and move him on for what would just be really like, that's fantastic. Okay. So just like different character. Next up, we've got Axel versus Austin. Shoot. All right, Detroit cop against time traveling. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know where to start on this one. Jessica, what are your initial thoughts?
I mean, it's definitely it's a weird match. This is a weird one.
Really is
weird.
You've got like your favorites that formative Austin Powers, but you've got Detroit Cop too.
And it's like I have to local pride versus like the iconic character. It's just a tough choice, but I feel like I have to go with Austin Powers on this one.
You would go with Austin on it. All right.
I would, yeah. It's just
Fair enough.
like it's too much in me.
Right. No, totally get it. Jay, let me throw it to you. What do you got on this one?
Same, Austin. All the
Austin
way.
On this one?
Yep.
Yeah, you think he would just like, what is it? Because like Axel's an actual cop.
Yeah.
What is it that you think leans in his favor for this one?
I just think that he would be so weirded out by Austin that he would freeze. He'd be like, "What is this guy? What is this guy?"
Somebody more absurd than I'm capable of being.
I just see him completely being blanked out.
Fair enough. Robert, what do you think on this one?
I'm going Axel.
All right. Give me your reasons.
Like he JA said he'd be weirded out, but he was friends with an art gun designer who was very, very weird.
True.
But no, Austin would dance around and play around and be goofy and try to weird him out, and Axel would just be like, "I ain't doing with this."
just done. All right. So we got 2 on Austin. We've got 1 for Axel. Ian, it's up to you now to see where this is going to fall. What do you got?
So let's analyze this in a very rational, reasonable way here. You've got
obviously you should do that, like 100%.
Yes. You got 2 guys. Both of them play in the same movie. They're both in the same movie. Yep. They're both in Shrek together. Coming to America, where Eddie Murphy plays all this stuff, and then Austin Powers, like fat bastard and all that. But all in all, because, and I understand what this sounds like, because Axel Foley is a real cop, I'm going to go with Axel Foley.
Gotcha. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that logic. I appreciate you breakdown. I appreciate. I mean, like I respect it. Like I appreciate the astute, take on Austin Powers versus Axel Foley. This is so stupid. All right, so we've got a tie again. We're at 2-2 on this one. So I'm going to do the thing that I did before, which is go down the line and ask you just very objectively and honestly, give me which one of these characters you think is more iconic. Right, Ian? Who do you got?
Well, Powers is more iconic, that's for sure.
Yep. All right, JA, what do you think?
Yeah, Austin Powers, more iconic.
Austin? Yep. Robert?
I mean, I was a child of the 80s and 90s. Beverly Hills Cop was always something that I enjoyed, and you
Yep.
still hear people talking about it. So I'm going to go with Axel was the bigger one of the
Right.
two.
Jessica, what do you think? Icon status?
I'm too young for that, so I'm going to go with Austin.
Yeah, I'll say that we can. I think we can safely look. This one's a real toss up, but I think we can safely call that the tiebreaker, and say that Austin, certainly, I think his 3 movies were more memorable, all the characters and everything else. So I'd say he probably deserves a nod on this one. But again, really, really close for sure. But we'll bump Austin forward. I think it's close enough that we can make a judgment like that. Which
But
brings us to- Yep.
Austin didn't steal his spot in line from George Lucas.
Oh, nice. Right.
The third movie on the Ferris wheel.
The third movie?
Yeah.
Stole
Axel Foley steals
Right.
George Lucas's spot on the he
Oh,
jumps in their line, and George Lucas turns and looks at the camera and goes, "Hey!"
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I forgot about it. Jeez. See, this goes to show you though, like I just remember Austin more like and
Oh no,
agreed.
I agree. I will agree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because like I those movies like Lethal Weapon, I put like kind of up there, and more serious for sure, but like similar vibe to those cop movies of the '80s and whatnot. But just between Gold Member and just all and Fat Bastard, who I really wanted to put in this bracket, but decided I bounced him for White. I was like, no, I can't just do another, But Fat Bastard versus Les Grossman would have been really great. Anyway, so let's go to this one. Let's get White Goodman versus Ace Ventura. What the frick is this? Okay, so I'm not sure where they're having this fight, but it's somewhere. Ian, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, give me Ace. He's just White is just too in his own head. It doesn't is everything is so just too much about him, and Ace is at least worldly. He understands his place in the world as far as his animal brethren.
Right.
So I think that's what's gonna carry him over. Plus his hair's cooler. I mean,
it is cooler hair, yeah, for sure. I would love to see
Way cooler.
the velvet painting of White wrestling with the bull, but Ace like being birthed out the back or something, like a weird, like
Yeah.
montage of the movies together or whatever. All right, so you would go Ace Ventura on this
And the best walk in the whole bracket.
one, right?
Ace Ventura, the best walk in the entire bracket.
I can see it. JA, what do you got on this one? Ace versus White.
I think they'd be friends. I see these guys being friends.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to go to Ace. I think he's more iconic.
Gotcha. All right. We'll go with 2 on Ace. And Robert, what about you?
I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going to say White.
Oh, I need to know why.
I mean, ultimately, what you're looking at is 2 guys that are going to get in the ring against each other. They're going to brag about their own stuff.
Right.
Constantly.
Yes, for sure.
And that's all they're going to do for like 45 minutes. But Ian said that Ace had the better hair, and off of that picture, possibly. But Ace didn't have a commentator in the middle of a dodgeball match explain how his hair was feathered, permed.
That's a good point. Funny. Yep, all right. All right, so we've got two for Ace, and we've got one for White. I mean, look, this one's hard.
And
Like, to me,
I'm
this is
gonna
a
go with
toss-up too.
I'm mostly going with White because as funny as Ace is and as funny as his lines are, I remember most of White Goodman's stuff, including "fuck Chuck Norris."
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, you're a Globo Jim. We're better than you, and we know it. I mean, and like honestly, Ace Ventura is also just like kind of he's smug and egotistical. Like they're both just
Yeah.
smug and egotistical.
Yeah.
So yeah, this would be a brilliant one. Jessica, what do you got on this one? We've got two for Ace. We've got one for White.
It's really tough because I think there's a different kind of iconic for both of these characters. Like I would say, to me, White is like the lines are more funny, but they're less like transmittable. Like,
Okay.
alrighty then,
Right.
certain
Like,
things that
yeah.
were just easier to transmit. They're easier to apply to more situations. So, I picked White the first time, but I'm gonna pick Ace this time. I think.
Go with Ace on this one. All right, it's 3 for Ace. He would be moving on. I think it's the right call. If I think about those two movies and perhaps just like one of the funniest scenes in either, and obviously, like I've already stated, I saw this one in the theater. We lost it. The part where he's in the tutu and starts doing it backwards, like again, it was just like one of the greatest movie moments of my life in a theater because it was like nobody could keep it together in that moment, and it was absolutely absurd. And even on rewatches, the movie is still just so stupid and absurd, and you just kind of recite it as it's going. So yeah, all right, we've got Austin versus Ace, and on the other side we've got Venkman versus Dark Helmet. Oh man, I don't know which one to do first. I kind of want to go here and let's resolve Austin versus Ace first, and then save the other one and see who we can crown a champion here as we go. So icons for sure, multiple movies on both of them. Great one-liners, excellent physical acting on both their parts. I mean, these are definitely two super heavyweights here. So let's go, Jay. Let me start with you. And what are your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, initially, I think Ace has got like a higher pain threshold.
Okay.
That's the first thing I think of. Like he's endured a lot more than Austin Powers has. So
Yeah.
I think as much as I love Austin Powers, I think I've got to give it to Ace.
Okay. All right. You don't think the judo chop is going to do it in this case?
No, I think Ace is going to come out just on pure physical comedy, physicality.
Right.
I think it's close. Right. It's very close, but
fair enough. Yep. Yeah. Jessica, let me throw it to you. Ace versus Austin.
That's that physical comedy of Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura.
Right.
That I think is going to lean me towards him to win this one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's tough though, because
it is really like they're both great at the physical comedy for sure.
Good. They're both good.
He's in a nutshell. How did he get into this nutshell? How did this nutshell get so big? Yeah, so great stuff. But I think I get it. All right, so that's 2 on Ace, right? Yep. So Ian, let's go for you on this one. What do you think? Austin versus Ace. Who do you got?
All right. So I've got to just go with which movie made me laugh harder.
Okay.
So that's going to be my criteria for this. And the line where, how dare you break wind before me? Well, I did. That's like a mantra in my house. So I'm picking Austin Powers.
I mean, if you're going to have a motto for your home, I think that's a really good one to choose. For sure. All right, 2-1. Robert, bring it home for me. What do you got?
I mean, they're effectively the same character.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
just they're just absurd in their own ways.
I think Ace is a little more narcissistic,
Yeah,
honestly.
he is. He's
Yeah.
but you got two very smug, very overconfident characters who
Right.
kind of luck their way into things. But the question comes down to, is Ace in the tutu? Because if that's the case, Austin's going to try to seduce him.
The fembots? Seriously? He's
No,
gonna do it. He's gonna
if
do
I
the
have to
nipple
go,
thing,
if
like
I
all
have to go off of just iconic status, because that's where it's going to come down to, it's Ace
Right.
Ventura.
Yeah.
I've quoted that movie more than most of the others on this list, or most of the others on this side, outside of maybe the
All right.
Beverly Hills Cop. So
I mean that throws us at a tie.
I mean,
for these two. That throws us at a tie. So we're gonna have to figure this one out. And I'm uncomfortable being a tiebreaker on this one. Because man, like I don't even know. Like if we think about it, again, multiple movies for both.
Yep.
Absolutely iconic, both of them. So yeah, man, like I don't even know how to judge. The only thing is, like, if you had the two of them in a fist fight, like who do you actually think would, like, like we know that Austin Powers will punch somebody's mother. So there's that. But Austin is also kind of softer hearted in a lot of ways. Like he actually shows, like empathy and remorse and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not sure is a great thing if you're up against Ace Ventura. So yeah, that's really tricky. I mean, is anybody up to change their vote in regards to what somebody else said, or no? No takers?
I'm still pretty on the fence. I mean, Logan in the comments said that Ace can take 2 spears to the legs. I think he could be immune to the judo chop.
That's true. That's true. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they both solve mysteries in their own way, for sure. So there's that. All right, like, look, we can take it to the big board and see if we can just kind of break this down. We'll have to go through this one quick because we don't want to spend too much time.
International,
But we're gonna go
man of mystery.
the internet. That's right. All right. I mean, they're both heroes. That says villain, but fine, just ignore it. All right. So here's what we'll do. Jessica, I'm going to have you go first. And just so you can see kind of what we got going on, right? I just want you to rate them 1 to 5, 1 being like meh, 5 being epic. How would you rate Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura? How would you rate his dialogue?
Oh, like I'd give him a 5 because of all of his iconic lines, man.
For sure. What about character arc, considering depth and development of his journey?
I mean, like what depth? Like 2? I don't know.
He's kind of a flat arc for Ace Ventura, like, sort of. He's not a different character.
Narrative impact is a 5.
Obviously, yeah.
Is he complex though?
Is he layered, nuanced, or compelling as a character?
No, but yes. I don't know, 3. I'll
3,
pick the
all right.
neutral. I don't know.
Fair enough.
And then icon status, he's a 5. He's very iconic.
For sure. All right. Let's let me keep you at it here. Let's do the same thing for Austin, right? So what do you say for Austin dialogue on a 1 to 5?
Dialogue for Austin Powers is probably a 5 as well.
Yeah, baby.
I'd almost give him more like character arc, 3.
Okay.
Narrative impact. See, this is like a lot of Austin Powers, the movies, like the people around the villainry, like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's half of the movie.
There's more. Yeah, it's Dr. Evil. Yeah. I don't know, like 4.
Okay.
Maybe a little more complex too at 4.
All right.
And
Icon
5.
5.
Icon.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Ian, let me get you on here. Ooh, that's capital A. There we go. We got this. All right. Dialogue for Ace Ventura. What do you got? 1 to 5. Are you there? I can't hear you.
For
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Give me 5 for Ace. I mean, he's,
Yep.
character arc. The man doesn't change at all. I'd say a 1.
Fair enough. Narrative impact.
Yeah. Narrative impact. I'll also say 5. I mean, it's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
It's the
Without
name of the
him,
movie.
it's
Yeah,
just
for
not
sure.
a movie at all. Yeah.
Yep. Complexity.
Complexity. Again, he's extremely
Nuance.
simple. I'll go 2.
Okay.
And then icon
Icon.
status. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, of course. These are both icons for sure.
I mean, these low scores are actually they're good for
yeah, for sure.
Character. You know what I mean? It's
right,
like
right.
it's
Absolutely.
Yeah. So dialogue for Austin Powers is definitely a 5.
Okay.
Character arc. He goes from being shagadelic to married to completely back to shagadelic. So I go 1 again on him.
All right.
Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they kind of reset his character in each movie because they sort of yeah. Narrative impact.
Narrative impact. Again, it's called Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, so it's got to be a 5 there.
Gotcha. Complexity.
I'll give him a 3 on complexity because freedom didn't fail. He gets philosophic. Freedom didn't fail. It's a very groovy time.
Right. Right.
So yeah. So I'll go 3 there, and then icon status is also a 5.
Okay. Easy enough. JA, I'm going to go to you next. And what do you got for dialogue on Ace?
I'd go 4 because
Tom
sometimes he just speaks gibberish.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you call that dialogue? If he's just making noises. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'd say a 2 on character arc. He's virtually the same.
He's pretty flat. Yep.
Which works for the movie, but it's
for sure. Yep.
It just doesn't. Yeah, 5 for narrative impact.
Yeah, he's in like there's not a scene really, just a couple scenes without him, like in the entire thing, really. Only when they're just like showing what a villain does or whatever. What about complexity?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, and then icon status. 5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah,
I think everyone's going to go agree that he's icon.
I think we're good on 5s there. Yep. All right, so dialogue for Austin.
I'd give him a 5. 100%.
Okay.
He's got all those lines of gold.
Absolutely. Yep. And then character arc.
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Narrative.
I'll go 4. Yeah.
All right. Is it the split time with Dr. Evil type of thing?
Yeah. It's just like, look, I love Dr. Evil.
Yes.
But I think if you're going to call the movie Austin Powers, I mean, it's the Godzilla thing. They called the movie Godzilla, and he was in it for 12 minutes. You know,
that's a good point.
Can you?
No, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Complexity for Austin.
He's definitely more complex than Ace, so I'll give him a 3.
Yep, fair enough. And icon 5.
Yep, 5.
Yeah, I think we've got 5s across the board on that one. All right, Robert, you're up.
All right.
And, what do you got? Yep. Dialogue on Ace.
I'll give him a 5.
Okay. The quotable lines.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Character arc.
1.
There you go. Fair enough.
There is no change in that character.
He's a pretty flat arc.
Even in the second movie, they give you a little bit of he's changed. No, he hasn't.
No, he's still smug, and yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, so narrative impact.
5.
Yeah.
He drives that whole film.
For sure.
Both of them. So
his complexity as a character.
1.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
For me, he's a 1 note. He's smug and crazy.
Yeah,
that's every scene. That's what he's gonna hit every time.
Yep.
So
no, I get it. He does figure things out. Like that's the only thing that I'd give him credit for is that like he does put them together. It's just the way he does it is for sure. And icon status, we're going 5 on this
5.
one. Yeah, for sure. All right, just look at the hair. Dialogue for Austin. What do you got?
I got a 5. I almost said 4. It's a 5.
Okay.
He's quotable whole movie.
Absolutely. Yep. Character arc.
I'm gonna give him a 4.
Okay.
So yes, they do reset him every movie, but every movie he has an arc.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I can I understand that for sure. And he does actually. He's not he's not
He's
the
not
same
the same
character at the end of the
every movie.
Right,
But
right.
like the first movie is him, figuring out where he's at and realizing, well, maybe I can settle down. And the second one's like, well, how do I get over the fact that my wife tried to kill me because she's a murder bot?
Right. Right. That's fantastic.
Oh wait, I've got to save the world. Now we'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
And then third is the whole smoking a pancake.
yep.
Narrative impact for Austin.
I'm gonna give him a 4
Okay.
because
And
a lot of the narrative is actually driven by Dr. Evil, but Austin is the one that does move.
right,
So
right. Okay. And then what do we got for complexity?
I'm gonna give him a 3.
Okay.
He's got a good range, but he's not. He doesn't really like showcase
Right.
throughout.
Right.
So
All right. And icon status. Where do you
I'm
put
going to give him a 5.
it? It's a 5. All right, folks. If we break it down, we've got a 20 set for Austin. We've got an 18.5 set for Ace Ventura. I really think it was the character arc that sort of sinks him on this
Yeah,
one.
it is.
Is that he's just a little more flat. So I mean, I'm good with this, man. This is how we break it down to try and pick a winner. I've never had a tie on any of this stuff just because there's a bunch of ratings and all that. So with that being said, I think we can safely move Austin forward and call him the winner on this one. We have our first finalist, and now, oh boy, Frankman and Dark Helmet, two of the most beloved comedy characters just ever. So yeah, totally iconic. Both ways, like I mean, honestly, really different movies in terms of just like Ghostbusters. Yes, it's a comedy, but like there's more to it. There's more depth to it for sure.
There is.
Spaceballs is just like how absolutely absurd can we make this, and that's why it's one of my favorite movies ever to exist. So let's do this, right? Ja, what do you think on this one? Venkman versus Dark Helmet.
It's another one of these coin toss moments.
Yep.
But I lean to Dark Helmet just because how much I love Rick Moranis, because he's such an underrated actor.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, I think he's just gonna nudge Bill Murray out and take the spot.
And honestly, like if you watch interviews with him and stuff like that, because he's been in some interviews and more things lately, genuinely good dude. Just he's like, I'm out of Hollywood. He wanted to raise his daughters and just kind of live that way. Has his royalties and all that. I would love to see a reprisal of literally any of his roles, just for fun. But yeah, okay. So we've got one on Dark Helmet. Robert, what about you? What do you think?
So I love both of these characters. I love both of these movies.
Yes.
So my deciding factor is actually something that Harold Ramis said during the commentary of Ghostbusters. And that's when Venkman gets the girl at the end, they let Moranis run. And run wild does he do in that whole back half. He gets like 4 minutes and it's just line after line after line. And he's just, who does your taxes? And I know it's not Dark Helmet. But that's the kind of comedy you're working with when you work with Moranis.
Yeah.
He can steal every scene.
Well, he's an improv. He's SCTV improv, right?
Yeah.
He was there with that entire Canadian crew, and they're all brilliant.
They are.
Yeah,
they are. But in Spaceballs, every time he's on screen, he just steals it.
He does. Yeah, it's his movie.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yep. All right. So
Venkman is great, but he gets outshined a couple of times based upon who else is on screen with him.
Yeah.
Not often.
Right.
But no one takes the spotlight from Dark Helmet.
From Dark Helmet. Yeah, that's true. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken. So let's go, Jessica, with you. We've got 2 for Dark Helmet right now. Are you going to continue the trend?
Oh, it's like it's the do we move into tiebreaker or do we like seal the deal? I'm like the tip the scale here and puts me in a very powerful position.
That's right.
Oh man, like I have seen Ghostbusters so much that I probably have it memorized, but you know, Venkman is not the only character in that movie.
Correct.
And you know, Dark Helmet is not the only character in Spaceballs, but in a way he is.
In a way, he is.
Use the Schwartz. Use the Schwartz.
For sure.
So I'm gonna go with Dark Helmet.
Yep, I said across her nose, not up it. Ian, anything to add to this one? Looks like we're moving Dark Helmet on.
No, just based on just icon status alone, he's the only other icon that's more iconic is Darth Vader. So I'm going with Dark Helmet. Yeah.
Listen, I've posted it many times on Twitter. I tell people all the time that the best Star Wars movie is in fact Spaceballs, and the best Star Trek movie is Galaxy Quest. And
You're
I
not wrong.
maintain that. Yeah, no, that is truly the way I see them both. All right, so we've got Dark Helmet versus Austin Powers. What? Oh man. All right, let this one sink in for a moment, right? And just like kind of internally form your arguments. So what I'm going to do, this is the way we kind of work out like our ending battle, because I don't want anybody to be influenced by anything else. All I want you to do is make an argument, make a pro and con argument basically for both of these characters, right? So I'll go down the line and tell me why you think Dark Helmet should win and why you think Austin Powers should win. And then make your decision, but don't tell me, right? And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll go down the line, and you're just going to give me the decisions, and we'll see who takes it, right? So JA, I'll throw it to you first without telling me who you think's going to win. Give me the argument for Dark Helmet and the argument for Austin.
I think Dark Helmet's got it in the bag. I mean, he's got his handshake trick. Haha! I tell you, Rick. So he's got that, but he's also got the Schwartz.
Right.
And I just think he's gonna narrowly beat Austin.
And why would you think Austin would win this?
Well, Austin's got the judo chop, and
he does have that. Yep.
Charisma helps. I think a lot of villains appreciate a speech.
For sure.
Let me tell you my evil plan.
I love that scene with Dr. Evil where he's like talking to Scott, and he's like, "No, I'm going to give him an easily escapable scenario and not watch while it's happening." And no, I love that spoof part of it. All right, so Austin had he definitely has some. He's made it this far. He definitely has some things on his side that could take out a Dark Helmet. He is certainly clever. Dark Helmet is a bit bumbling. He did spit the coffee out, and the whole there's plenty of moments that weren't his the best shining moments for him. So I get that. All right. So I'm going to say, make your decision in your head. Keep it right there. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Robert, let me go to you. Give me the argument for Dark Helmet and the argument for Austin.
The argument for Dark Helmet is that he has an entire empire backing him up. It is an empire of assholes and bumbling idiots.
Oh shit! There goes the planet.
But it is still an empire nonetheless.
Right.
But laser swords. So,
for sure, of course. All right.
The argument for Austin is he's just got to get frozen and wait out Dark Helmet. It's like, I'll see you in 100 years. What?
That's true. Yep.
No, he'll figure out a way somehow to make him bumble.
Yeah, that's what he did with Dr. Evil.
Yeah, he's gonna frustrate him to the point that he's gonna mess up.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I mean, compelling for both. So make your decision in your head. Jessica, what do you think? The argument for Dark Helmet and the argument for Austin.
All right, for Dark Helmet, you have evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
It's dumb.
So, you know, how can you beat that?
Right.
As for Austin Powers, you know, he's got more movies on his back here.
True.
So,
yeah.
like, just time on the screen, he hasn't beat. Definitely has some good quotable lines.
For sure.
So, I mean, that would be my case.
Okay.
Decisions made.
All right. All right. You have your decision in your head. So Ian, let me hear your arguments for and against on both, and don't tell me your decision, but what do you got? Well, like, why do you think Dark Helmet would win? Why do you think Austin would win? I can't hear you if you're there. Nope. Oh, he bounced out. Uh-oh. We're having some connection issues. Oh, we can't have that happening. There we go. Okay.
I'm on the connection where I'm at is just, it's a verb.
That's all right. So give me the idea. So
great connection.
Tell me why you think Dark Helmet would win. Why do you think Austin would win? And but don't tell me who you're gonna pick.
Right. Well, like Robert said, I mean, Dark Helmet's got the and he may not be a mastermind, but he's got a giant head, or at least a giant hat. So, and Austin Powers is so, I mean, he's got powers, is relentless in his pursuit to maintain the status quo. So I'm gonna, you know, that's why I would pick Austin Powers over Dark Helmet.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So with your decisions made, I'm gonna go down the line. The only thing I want you to say is who's gonna win, right? For you. So JA, give me your pick.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. All right. Robert?
Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet. Jessica?
Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet. And Ian, who do you got?
This sucks. Austin Powers.
Oh, no. Oh, man. I mean, like, I get it. And I can't toss a tiebreaker out. So we're gonna have to run through these guys real quick and make some determinations. My goodness, can Austin survive again? Let's go ahead.
I mean, Austin doesn't change, right? Like, we can just leave him there. It's just rating Dark Helmet.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. So let me clear some scores out like this. Boom, boom. Like that, because if I reset this and all sorts of stuff goes sideways, but we'll run through it on Dark Helmet and rate him as he goes. I'm really curious to see how this is going to take out. Okay, so let's bring him in. Where is he? Dark Helmet, and bang! All right, we have our matchup. And Jessica, give me dialogue for Dark Helmet. What do you think?
All right, dialogue. I'm going to give him a 5.
Yep. Character arc.
Character arc. I mean,
does he grow and develop?
Have one? I don't think he has one. 2.
2. All right, fair enough. Narrative impact.
Narrative impact is like a 5.
Yeah, I mean it's his movie. Complexity.
I mean, he plays with dolls and stuff. So like that seems pretty complex. Maybe a 4.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, there's more to him. There's a softer, gentler side.
There's definitely stuff going on.
Right, even though he's surrounded by assholes. Ian, dialogue for Dark Helmet. What do you got?
Isn't there
Give
one more
me
category?
A 4 on dialogue.
Oh, sorry, there's icon status. You're right. Yep.
Was there
5 on that?
Icon's
Jessica?
5. That's a 5. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Ian. Go ahead. What did you get there? 4.
There's just too many other great lines told. 1, 2, 3. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the board.
Same password in some way.
No, don't do that.
All right.
Character arc, there isn't one. So yeah, 1 is fine.
Okay. Narrative
Narrative
impact.
impact. If there was a 6, I would give him a 6 because I mean he's the antagonist. You know.
Yeah,
he's the one.
Right. Complexity for Dark Helmet.
I agree. I think it's a 4.
Okay.
And icon status, I want to give him a 4, but I'm going to go 5 because I think that he's one of the greatest villains in all of comedy ever. So maybe the greatest villain in all of comedy ever. So yeah,
I would agree. JA, what about you on dialogue for Dark Helmet?
It's definitely a 5 for me. It's fresh in my mind, so
Yep,
I think that's what ups it. So many good lines.
Character arc.
I think character arc's pretty flat, so I'd go 2.
Yep.
Narrative 5 for narrative impact. It's his film. He's
for sure. Complexity.
I don't reckon he's all that complex. 3.
Okay. Yeah, they said comb the desert. We're combing the desert. Yeah. Icon status.
5. Yeah, definitely 5.
All right, sounds good. And Robert, you're gonna bring it home for me. Dialogue for Dark Helmet.
5.
Yep. And character arc.
1. He doesn't change.
He doesn't change. You don't even know what his motivation is in the entire movie. He's just
he's just there.
Yeah, exactly. Narrative impact.
Narrative impact is a 5.
Yep. Complexity.
I'd give him a 3.
Okay. And icon status,
I'd give him a 5.
Yep. All right, we're breaking it down. 19 versus a 20 for Austin. So close. Easily the closest one I've ever had on one of these things. But a win is a win, and we've got to say that Austin Powers, he's the man. And baby. Yeah, I think I'm going to screenshot this and throw it on X and tag you guys too, just to see if anybody would argue with any of the choices that went on here. Like realistically, nobody would put like Farquaad in the finals or anything like that.
No,
you know. But I think, like, honestly, looking at this, the only one that I really would disagree with, besides Dark, like I think Dark Helmet would win that, but is Ash versus Venkman. That's the one I really would go. I would probably go Ash over Venkman on that. But otherwise, I think you guys pretty much nailed this all the way across. And like, I think for Austin Powers, his toughest one may have been Les Grossman in the first round, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there any matchups of these characters that you would want to see that we didn't hit on this, or that like didn't match up? Like anything that you think would be like really close?
I mean, I think White and Grossman would be an interesting matchup. Because that's just two egos clashing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's quite a few egos on this one. Definitely. I mean, we've got the villains. It makes perfect sense. This just makes me want to rewatch literally all of these movies.
Kim Jong-il and Farquaad. I like that matchup.
That would be great.
That's
Farquaad.
Farquaad has the advantage because he's already tortured puppets.
That's right. Yeah, and he's taller. So there's that. Yeah.
No, inevitably going to change,
folks. Inevitably. So great. No, this has been brilliant, man. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for being really good sports through this whole thing. This is what Storyteller SmackDown is all about. Just want to have a good time. Favorite movies, favorite characters, talk about them and all that kind of stuff. Any characters that come into mind that are comedy villains or heroes that I didn't include that you would have liked to have seen? Anyone, Jay, that would come into mind? Like I said, like I was thinking of throwing Fat Bastard in there. Yeah. The other one that was really like right on the edge was President Camacho from Idiocracy. I kind of wanted to see him in here too. You know, thought his his head would be bigger, you know. But like, I'm not sure otherwise. Anyone come to mind?
I've always been a fan of the old Jackie Chan movies, so I would have loved to see Chon Wang from Shanghai, the Shanghai movie.
Nice. All
That
right.
could have been
Good
pretty cool.
choice. Yeah. Very good choice. Robert, what about you? Anyone that I left out that you would want to be in?
I going back to the movie that stands out, the comedy, the Our Last Action Hero. I love Arnold's whole character in that,
Right.
where he's just a spoof of himself.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
I almost want to say throw the villain in there, but he's not a comedic villain. Charles Dance plays that part so serious.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. It's been
Like,
so long, man. I really need to rewatch that.
it's Charles Dance doing his best scheming villain, but he's not playing it like it's a joke.
Right.
So, but no, Arnold is literally like, "You're driving with no hands. I do this all the time. I don't recommend it."
That's good. Yep. Jessica, anyone from a comedy movie for you that you would have liked to have seen in here?
I wanted to see Ron Burgundy versus Mogatu. Will Ferrell versus Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. I mean, I could do an entire Will Ferrell bracket, honestly. Like, yeah, that would really be something for sure. Because you've got, you've got Dragon from Step Brothers or whatever. You've got, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, he's been in I haven't seen all of the movies that he's been in for sure, but definitely. All right, yeah, Mugatu would have been that would have been a good one. Honestly, really anyone from Zoolander thrown in here.
Megamind.
He's so hot right now. Megamind's a good one. Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think about the animated stuff other than Farquaad, really. But you've got some good ones for that too. Definitely. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, look, I'm happy with the way this shook out. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and post it up and tag you guys and see if anybody decides to chime in. To those of you that were hanging out in the chat, thank you guys very much. I want to go around the room one more time and just give me your close. And first of all, thank you all. Really appreciate it for being here and spending some time with me for some of this fun stuff and just indulging in some great storytelling things. But go ahead and let everybody know one more time where you are, where we can find you, and what you're doing. J.A., go ahead and go first for me.
Yeah, well, thanks again for having me on. This is my first ever live stream I've ever done, so...
Oh, excellent.
I'm new to it. I have my own podcast called Stories That True and the Fictional. It's all pre-recorded, so...
Gotcha.
I get to edit all the fun after that. But that's... Yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on X, we're everywhere.
Nice.
I do have a book to plug because it's coming out in 2 days.
Yes, do it. Let me see.
It's called Ancora. It's probably backwards. It's a sci-fi fantasy, supernatural. It's morbid compared to the things I usually write. Like this is my this is my first book, Letters from the Emu War. It's told by the perspective of emus who won a war against Australians. True story.
Oh wow! All right, excellent.
That's probably my most popular one. But just jabriden.com for everything. Me,
great,
and all my books and stuff. So yeah.
Beautiful, man. I love it. Sounds good. And Jessica, go ahead and give me the Jessica rundown.
All right. You can find me over at jessicabarbary.com on X. And I also have a book coming out this Sunday, June 1st, called Legacy of Blood. I would love for you guys to check it out. Awesome.
Yep. Sounds good. Post it up. And for both of you, post it up and certainly let me know. If I don't see it, I'm happy to amplify for this kind of stuff. I think it's great. I always want to support my fellow authors. Ian, go ahead and give me the rundown for you, where we can find you and all that kind of stuff. What you got cooking?
All right. Well, my website is shortstorysalvin.com. I've got all there, and like I said, I'm working on 2 short story collections. It should be out this summer. And I'm in 3 anthologies so far that are also 2 are going to be out in July. 1 will be out in December. And all that information you can find on my and I will post it in the Discord, Logan.
Yeah,
so,
for all of you, definitely on the Merc one for the promotion. Definitely post up your stuff there.
And there was one character I was looking for, bracket, that didn't come up. I wanted to see Vicini.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would have been really good too. Dang, I forgot Vicini. Yeah. All right. Well, next time. We did a Princess Bride versus. Oh shoot, what was it? I think it was our first.
Monty Python.
It was our first one. Yeah, it was Princess Bride versus Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That was really absurd, for sure. I shouldn't have done that one as a first episode, but it's fine. There's that. So, Robert, go ahead and give me your rundown and where we can find you and all that stuff. Go for it.
So on most socials, my handle is usually SURLLIO. It's a character that I wrote years and years ago that I just kind of keep. And if it's not that, then it's RSE Surlio, which is my initials and then SURLLIO.
Gotcha.
As far as work coming out, I'm working on a book. We just got the preliminary art for. I don't know if it's going to show up on there or not. I can't really show it. It's coming up with a glare. But it's the artist just sent me the black and white render that she's going to paint.
Nice.
So, and it's got a castle and a flying boat and the two travelers looking back over their shoulders. But I am in the last trailer park.
Nice.
I actually am the only one that's the dead serious horror story in here. Which it didn't start that way, but after the edits it went that way. So
yeah, that happens. Yeah. Which volume was that?
Volume 4.
That was 4. Okay. Yep.
I submitted for 3 and then they kicked it back, and then I resubmitted for 4, and then they were like, hey, this was like really good.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, I like it, and I love that anthology. That was a big one for me because I was in 3. Yep.
A little bit of a thing with this one is I got into the one with Elvis on the cover.
Yep.
I submitted for 3, and my rockabilly element was a low rent demon Elvis that they made me cut. And so they put me in 4 with Elvis on the cover, and I'm over here going, you had a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, really. It was a softball.
But by the time
that's the way it works. It's all good. No, so everybody really appreciate it and thank you. And like I said, anything that you have where you're trying to promote or whatever else on the Mirthquake Discord, we have the promotion, the channel on there. So please put up your link there. And certainly if you're posting it up on X and I get wind, I'm happy to amplify whatever you guys have got going on and all that. And so I'll say thank you once again to everybody. This was brilliant, super fun. You'll see that tag coming up in just a few minutes. And to everybody that was in the chat, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us. Logan, always appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you at LibertyCon as well. And I'm going to go ahead and play a little outro, and then I'll see all of you guys in the green room in just a moment so we can say our goodbyes. So let me go ahead and close this out. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great night. And here we go.